Good afternoon.
Again. Good afternoon, Judge. I'm sorry, I was on the other Zoom site. I don't know why I had a different Zoom site, but anyway, I apologize for my tardiness.
No worries, no worries. I knew something was wrong. I said, you're never late.
Oh, you give me entirely too much credit. Thank you.
All right. So both sides ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
Your Honor.
Okay, before we go on the record, I wanted to get you all to stipulate to the exhibits as much as you can. I'm assuming there will not be any of, let's go through, whose is these? Hold on one second. Let's go through, father's exhibits first. Looks like P1, is there any objection to the summary of requested relief?
No objection to that, Your Honor.
All right. P1 is admitted. P2?
No objection to that either.
P2 is admitted. P3?
No objection to 3.
All right. P3 is admitted. P4?
No objection to 4.
All right. P5?
No objection.
Okay. 6?
No objection.
All right. 7?
I have a relevance objection to that. I'm not really sure what it's used for.
Okay. Well, you can raise the objection if they present it during testimony. So I just reserved that one. P8?
No objection.
All right. 9?
And no objection.
Okay. All right. Now let's go through respondents' exhibits. Any objection?
Judge, I won't be using all of them. I can just tell you which ones I will be. P1, or sorry, M1, obviously.
Okay. M1.
No objection.
All right. 2.
M2.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay. 3.
M3.
I do object to that one, Judge.
Okay. 4.
We are going to use that one.
Okay. Any objection to 4?
If this being withdrawn, Judge, I have no objection to it being withdrawn.
Oh, we're not withdrawing that, Ms. Lewis. We're still using that one.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I thought you said P4 you would not be using. I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
So there's an objection to 4. What about 5?
Judge, it's a certified copy. No objection.
All right. 6.
6, 6 and
I
7,
think that
Judge.
one is
I have no objection to 6 or 7.
Okay.
Pleading's already before the court.
8.
8 is a wage statement. It's listed as income and expenses, but I think I have no objection to it as a wage statement.
Okay. It looks, from what I can see, it looks like a wage statement. And then it looks like a financial report as you scroll down to the second page and second and third page.
Right. It covers income and expenses, Your Honor.
Okay.
No objection, Judge. Well, we would, of course, like to see the supporting documents, Judge.
Okay, but no objection as a summary?
No objection as a summary, just noting that the supporting documents are not attached, with the exception of the wage statement.
Okay.
And
9.
Your Honor, 9 through 12 we won't be using today.
Okay. So 13.
13. No objection.
14.
We won't be using that, Judge. The next one we'll be using is 17.
Okay. 17.
That's a business records affidavit that's been duly filed with the court. No objection.
Okay. So 17. Okay. 18. Looks like what is that? Criminal record?
Certified copies.
Certified, yeah.
I cannot object to them.
18,
We won't, I'm sorry, 18, there was no objection. Was that right?
That's
Yeah.
correct. That's a certified
Okay.
copy.
19, we won't be using, but we will be using 20.
okay, any objection to 20?
To the extent that, and I would have to ask Mr. Rewalk if these have been previously provided to council.
This is 20, Ms. Lewis?
Yes, 20.
Okay. Yes, they were entered at the temporary hearing.
If they've been previously used, then no objection to 20.
Okay, 21.
And Judge, the only other one on the list we'll be using is 22.
Okay, any objection to 22? Looks like it's
It's a protected.
certified.
It is.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to record. Yes. All right. We're on the record in cause number DF 2314885. Councils, will you please announce for the record?
Scott Rewalk for movants and mother Amanda Brown.
Thank you.
Marilee Lewis for petitioner in the underlying divorce cause and also movement for purposes of de novo review, Joshua Ryan Brown.
All right. With those who intend to testify, please raise your right hand. Oh, and take yourself off of mute. All right. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give will be the truth and the whole truth?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that the court is streaming live from the court's YouTube channel, as well as the courtroom doors are open in terms of being in compliance with the Texas Open Courts Act. I do realize that there are some issues that are involving domestic violence. So I would just advise you to just be cautious with certain words that you may use, because YouTube will take the video down immediately and it'll stop live streaming. I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to hide anything. I just wanted to make sure you all are aware of that.
And Judge, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We would respectfully request that we not live stream. There is a minor child, and for the best interest and protection of the child, we would ask that we not live stream.
Yeah, I understand, counsel. However, all of our live streams, pretty much majority, all of them include children.
So noted, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so councils were able to stipulate 2 exhibits, and thank you all for doing that. So petitioners exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 are admitted. Respondents 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 as a summary, just noted there are no supporting documents to 8. 17, 18, 20, and 22. Council, does that sound right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you. All right, so it looks like we have competing appeals. It looks like Attorney Lewis, your client's appeal came through first. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Y'all are competing. So essentially you all are challenging the associate judge's ruling that was done back on February 27th of 2024. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge, that is correct.
Okay. And if my notes are right, there is not an agreement on, in terms of mother side. Let me just make sure I have this right. Okay, and Attorney Lewis, you filed an amended request for hearing, is that correct?
See, Judge, I don't believe we amended ours, but I'll double check.
Okay, I see amended here. And then you while you're looking at that.
Yes, Judge, I do see it now. We only had to amend because we had a typographical situation, not a difference in our requested relief.
Okay, all right. So if the court is looking at this correctly, you all are you're doing a de novo on the entire ruling.
We are limiting, we had requested de novo on the entire ruling, but for purposes of today's proceeding, noting the time limitations, we will be focusing primarily on two issues. One, the judge's denial of our request to have this child returned to Dallas County, and two, financial issues relating to exercise of parenting time.
Okay. All right. Parenting time. Okay. You said denial of the child being returned back to Dallas, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Thank you for that. And let me pull up the other appeal. So it looks like Mrs. Brown is appealing the court's ruling to reserve temporary spousal support in the amount of $1,500, the interim attorney's fees in the amount of $5,000, as well as the Father's Day weekend that's coming up, correct?
So that last item, Your Honor, that's just that there was a weekend carve out for Father's Day for the father. And we just wanted to make sure that the mother had a carve out for Mother's Day.
And Judge Jess's background, we aren't on a first, third, and fifth schedule, which I think is why Mr. Rewack wants to be sure that we have a carve out because of the parenting time. Because Mr. Brown certainly doesn't want to miss any time with his son. So if that carve out means that he goes 3 weeks without seeing his son, then certainly we don't want to have that happen.
Got it. Okay. But those other two issues are still what your client is wanting to appeal today, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So I have you all set. And if you're wondering, I'm looking down a lot. I have my real time here. I don't know if you all can see it. I have the real time. So as my court reporter is writing, I'll be able to see what everyone is saying. And if we have to play something back or anything like that, that's what I'm looking at. Just kind of helps with the flow of the hearing. So I have you all set at 15 minutes per side, and that will include any opening and closing statements should you choose to make one, as well as any examination. It doesn't matter who goes first, really. You're both appealing. Is there a preference?
We would prefer to go first if Your Honor would indulge us.
Okay, no problem. Would you like to make an opening statement?
Very briefly, Your Honor, yes.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, this case is a divorce. It was filed in October of last year. The impetus for filing was that what the evidence will show is that family violence occurred for what amounted to the third time in October of 2023. Mr. Brown, the evidence will show, attacked Miss Brown. He was subsequently arrested. A protective order was put in place. We have an active criminal prosecution over it. My client, fearing for her safety and needing family support, has moved to El Paso. She was forced to quit her job when she left Dallas and has since acquired a job teaching in El Paso, where she has been with her family since approximately October. And we're by and large asking for the ruling from Judge Lee to stand, but for those three items that we de novoed, and we're ready to proceed.
Thank you, counsel. Attorney Lewis.
Thank you, Judge. I will defer opening until the presentation of my case in chief.
Okay, sounds good. All right, counsel, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call Amanda Brown.
All right.
Will you state your name, please?
Amanda Lorena Brown.
And Amanda, are you Gabriel's mother and currently married to Joshua Brown?
Yes, I am.
How old is Gabriel?
He's 17 months old.
Have you created a summary of the relief that you're requesting from the court today?
Yes, I have.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor?
Yes.
And Amanda, do you see what's been shared with the screen as Exhibit M1?
Yes, I do.
And is this a true and accurate summary of the relief you're asking from the court here today?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter Mother's 1.
It's already admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Amanda, you're asking for the court to confirm the ruling that you're Gabriel's temporary sole managing conservator within El Paso and Dallas counties. Is that right?
Yes.
And you're asking to confirm the finding that Joshua has committed family violence against you and should have supervised possession.
Yes, that is correct.
And you're asking for Judge Lee's ruling to stand other than your request for attorney's fees and monthly spousal support. Is that true?
Yes.
And are you also asking that you be designated to have possession the weekend of Mother's Day?
Yes, that's correct.
Why did you and Joshua separate on October 7th, 2023?
He assaulted me as I was holding Gabriel.
Have you been granted a final protective order against Joshua in Paso County?
Yes, I have.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor?
Yes.
And Amanda, is what is labeled Exhibit M22 a true and accurate certified copy of the protective order that you got against Joshua in February 2024?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. And to confirm, Your Honor, that is already internet evidence, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Was October 7th the first time that Josh had assaulted you?
No, it's not.
How were you assaulted by Josh on August 19th of 2022?
He forcefully struck me in the face, hit me with a Yeti water bottle, and also choked me and pulled my hair.
Your Honor, may I share screen?
Yes.
And Amanda, is this a true and correct picture of your face after you were struck on August 19th, 2022?
Yes, it is.
And when was Gabriel born?
He was born November 30th, 2022.
So that assault in August was a couple of months prior to Gabriel's birth?
Yes, that's correct.
And how were you assaulted by Joshua shortly after his birth in January 2023?
I asked him about the time he became agitated and struck me in the face while I was bottle feeding Gabriel.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor?
Yes.
And Amanda, do you see what is labeled as M3?
Yes, I do.
And is this a true and accurate picture of your face taken January 6th of 2023?
Yes, it is.
Has this been altered in any way?
No, it has not.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter Mother's 3.
Mother's 3 has already been admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Amanda, back to the October 7th assault. Where were you and Joshua that night, and what were you discussing?
We were in the hallway discussing the moving of furniture in our townhome.
And how were you first attacked that night?
He shoved me to the floor and kicked me.
And where was Gabriel when that was happening?
He was in the other room, asleep.
Thank you. And after that assault began, what did you do next?
He woke up because of the commotion, so I went into the room to soothe him.
And when you were checking on Gabriel, what did Josh yell to you?
He said that I have 10 seconds to calm him down or he will give me 7 BBs.
And what did Joshua do next?
He went to the other room and retrieved a pellet gun magazine.
And where was Gabriel in relation to you when this was happening?
He was in my arms.
Okay. And when Joshua came back into the room, what did he begin to do?
He started to assault me and then started to hit me with the magazine of the BB gun on my back as I was shielding Gabriel.
So you were holding Gabriel when this was happening, correct?
That's correct.
Did you take a picture of the injury that you received on October 7th?
Yes, I did.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor?
Yes.
Amanda, is what's labeled as M4 a true and accurate photo of your back on October 7th, 2023?
Yes, it is.
Has this picture been altered in any way?
No, it has not.
I'd like to enter M4, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
How were you able to call for help that evening?
I used my Apple Watch and I called Irving PD.
How did Joshua react to that?
He saw the face of the watch light up and he ripped it off my wrist and threw it down the stairs.
And what happened after the police arrived?
Moments later, the police banged on the door, opened it up, and arrested Josh.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor.
Yes.
Amanda, do you see what's labeled as M5?
Yes, I do.
And is this a certified copy of a police incident report from October the 7th?
Yes, it is.
And was Josh charged with child endangerment, aggravated assault, and unlawful restraint?
Yes, he was.
Has he now been indicted for misdemeanor assault causing bodily harm to a family member?
Yes.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor.
Yes.
And do you see what it's labeled as M18, I'm sorry?
Yes, I do.
And is this a certified copy of a criminal complaint against Joshua?
Yes, it is.
Was a magistrate's protective order entered based on this assault?
Yes, it was.
Permission to share screen?
Yes.
And Amanda, do you see what is labeled as M6?
Yes, I do.
Is this a true and accurate certified copy of the magistrate's protective order that was granted in your favor after the assault on October the 7th?
Yes, it is.
Did CPS also make findings against Joshua based on this assault?
Yes, they did.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor?
Yes.
And Amanda, do you see what is labeled as M17?
Yes, I do.
And is this a business record affidavit that you filed back on January the 22nd, 2024?
Yes.
And have all the underlying documents been sent to Mr. Brown's attorney?
Yes, correct.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter M17.
M17 is already pre-admitted.
And were findings made against Joshua for neglectful supervision and physical abuse of Gabriel?
Yes.
Why did you leave Dallas after this assault?
I feared for my safety as well as Gabriel's.
When you left the townhome you shared with Joshua, what did you take with you?
Plenty of things just for Gabriel and I.
Okay. Did you also leave many things with you? Well, did you also leave things in the townhome?
I did a good amount.
Permission to share screen, Your Honor?
Yes.
Do you see what has been labeled as M20?
Yes, I do.
And is M20 a series of pictures of the state of the townhome when you vacated it?
Yes, that's correct.
So the items shown in the pictures are the items that you left in the townhome for Joshua, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And the picture in front of us right now, is that a gun safe?
Yes, that is.
And the two first pictures, is that ammunition?
Yes, that is.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter M20.
Okay. It's already been previously admitted.
Amanda, are you aware of whether Josh has disposed of the firearms and ammunition since the protective order was granted?
At the moment, I'm not sure what he's done with the gun, so.
At the time of the assault on October 7th, where were you employed?
I was employed with Dallas ISD.
And what happened with that job after the assault?
I had to resign.
Did you get a new teaching job in El Paso since then?
I did.
And how long have you been in that position?
Almost 3 months now.
Permission to share screen?
Yes.
And Amanda, do you see what's labeled as Exhibit 8?
Yes, I do.
Is this a pay stub for your position teaching in El Paso?
Yes.
And following that, is this a summary of your estimated expenses per month?
Yes, that is.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter Mother's 8.
Okay. It's already been previously admitted.
To your knowledge, does Joshua, in addition to his day job, get income from the VA?
Yes, he does.
Have there been issues arranging Joshua's supervised weekend visitation?
No, there have not been.
Joshua has committed family violence against you, is that right?
That's right.
Despite this, have you ever blocked his phone?
No, I have not.
Since this case started, has Joshua ever missed out on any court-ordered visitation that he's been granted by the court?
No, he has not.
Do you believe that all the requests that you're making of the court today are made in Gabriel's best interest?
Yes, they are.
And in addition to that, are you asking the court to confirm that you have possession of Gabriel for the entirety of Mother's Day weekend?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
Okay, and counsel, for a time check, you have 3 minutes and 13 seconds left.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Attorney Lewis?
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Brown, you immediately left Dallas County with your child Gabriel after Mr. Brown was arrested, didn't you?
That's correct, ma'am.
And you actually went to San Antonio, did you not?
I had no family near. I did. Yes, ma'am.
Objection, non-responsive.
Sustain.
You went to San Antonio and you didn't let Mr. Brown know where his child was, did you?
That's correct.
And from San Antonio, you went to El Paso, didn't you?
Yes, that's correct, ma'am.
And you didn't let Mr. Brown know where his child was?
No, I
in
didn't.
El Paso. In fact, ma'am, you were doing your very best to hide both yourself and your child, weren't you?
That's correct.
Ma'am, with respect to the court-ordered visitation, Joshua Brown, the father of this child, didn't get to see the child for his first birthday, did he?
That's correct, ma'am.
He didn't get to see the child for Thanksgiving, did he?
That's correct, ma'am.
And it wasn't until we were able to get on Judge Lee's docket that he actually got some visitation for Christmas, correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And you insisted that this child has to be flown back and forth from El Paso to Dallas so that Mr. Brown can accomplish his parenting time with Gabriel, correct?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
ma'am, has Gabriel been injured while in Mr. Brown's care?
Not to my knowledge, no, ma'am.
And you found a job in El Paso, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You are a teacher, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you found a job fairly quickly, correct?
Somewhat, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, counsel, you have 13 minutes and 21 seconds left. Any redirect of your client?
One brief question, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Amanda, you were just asked about your what was termed a demand that you and the child fly back and forth between El Paso and Dallas for visitation. Is that right?
That's right.
How long would it take for you to drive to and from Dallas from El Paso?
With an infant, about 11 hours. That's with frequent stops.
Do you think that would be in Gabriel's best interest to be put through regular drives like that?
I don't think it's feasible for him. No, I don't.
Pass the witness.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Judge, no further questions for Ms. Brown.
thank you. Counsel, you may call your next witness.
Thank you. I call Mr. Brown.
Okay, you have 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Brown, you're currently employed, correct?
I am, yes.
And you are employed at a law firm, is that right?
Yes, I am.
And what is your hourly rate at the law firm that you work at?
It's right around 23.
Okay. And you have other sources of income, is that correct?
Just the VA disability.
And how often do you receive VA disability?
Monthly.
And how much do you receive monthly for that?
It just got up to 4,100.
And is 4,100 net or gross?
That's net. It's tax free.
So your resources include the 4,100 a month from VA and your income from your job at the law firm. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are there any additional sources of income beyond that?
No.
And you do not doubt the veracity of any of the documents that have been entered into evidence so far in this hearing, correct?
Objection, improper question, Judge. They're admitted for all purposes.
Sustain.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, counsel.
I'll withhold my questions until presentation of my case in chief.
Okay, thank you. You may call your next witness. You have 1 minute and 36 seconds left.
I'll reserve the remainder of my time, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge, are you ready for me?
Yes, counsel, thank you, Attorney Lewis. Counsel, are you resting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Judge, just briefly, this is a situation where we have an infant. The situation between the parents certainly was a difficult one at best. But Mr. Brown has proven himself to be a loving, caring father, and he just simply wants to be able to exercise as much time as possible with his child. That was denied to him by Ms. Brown, who, despite the fact that the petition was filed in early 2020 or late 2023, it was filed in October of 2023. Ms. Brown was evading service. She was keeping the child from him and has done her best to make parenting time as difficult as possible. We are simply asking that Mr. Brown be allowed the opportunity to parent this child. And if I may at this time proceed with questioning and witnesses.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'll call Joshua Brown. Mr.
Good
Brown.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. You are currently married to Amanda Lorena Brown, correct?
I am.
And you are the father of this darling child, Gabriel, correct?
I am. Yes.
And Judge, if I may share screen,
Yes, you may.
I'd like to show you, Mr. Brown, what's been marked first as P1, entitled Petitioner Summary of Requested Relief. Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes, I am.
And does that accurately reflect what you're asking the court to do today?
Yes, it does.
Mr. Brown, specifically, what are you asking the court to do with respect to having Gabriel in terms of having him closer in Dallas County?
I would like him and Amanda to return to Dallas County.
If that doesn't happen, what would you like the court to do?
I think it's fair that then Amanda would pay half of the cost of the parenting visits, since she is the one who unilaterally moved to San Antonio and then to El Paso.
Objection non-responsive.
Sustain.
What are you asking the court to do with respect to the cost of the parenting visits?
I'm asking for Amanda to pay for half.
And why is that, sir?
We're currently paying for 2 round-trip tickets to pick him up and drop him off.
Joshua is not of an age where he can travel by himself, is he? I'm sorry, Gabriel's not of an age where he can travel by himself, is he?
He is not.
Someone has to pick him up and bring him back and then go with him back to El Paso from there, correct?
That's correct.
I will show you what's been marked and admitted as P2. Is P2 a copy of your pay stub with Wentz and Zaffarelli LLP?
Yes, it is.
And you are not a lawyer currently, are you?
No, I'm not.
But you are working for a law firm, correct?
Yes.
And the court cannot use disability to calculate additional payments for child support, correct?
Jack, seeking a legal conclusion.
Sustain.
I'll show you what's been marked as P3. What type of activities do you and Gabriel indulge in when he comes to visit?
When he gets in, typically goes right to sleep because he gets in so late. But the next day we go try to do some fun activities. We've gone to the children's aquarium. We've gone to the Fort Worth Zoo. And really, I think we have also gone to like a play area for him, kids zone.
And when you are engaging in these activities with Gabriel, you're having to pay the cost for yourself and Gabriel and someone else, a supervisor currently, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Has Gabriel ever been injured while in your care?
Of course not.
Let me show you what's been marked as P4. And can you tell the court what P4 is?
P4, that's Gabriel and I at the townhome, enjoying our time. together.
And if you will, that is Gabriel as he currently looks.
Yes, that is.
And how much time do you actually get to spend with Gabriel?
In total, about 20 hours throughout the weekend, not including his sleep.
When you say Gabriel gets in so late, what do you mean exactly?
Because he has to be picked up after 6, the flight that we're best able to get to accommodate that schedule is after 6, and then doesn't get in until pretty late, typically.
And what time does Gabriel return on Sunday?
He has to be back by 6. He typically will get him back there by 4 just because of the flights. That's all they can accommodate.
So basically, how many hours on your weekend are you getting to spend with Gabriel?
I'll object to relevance, Your Honor. There's no request for relief to change the schedule.
Judge, this goes to the cost involved.
Okay, overrule.
So, Mr. Brown, how many hours a weekend do you get to spend with Gabriel?
All in total, right around 30 to 33, if I had to give my best guess.
Mr.
Hours.
Brown, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's every other weekend, 33 hours approximately, correct?
Correct. And currently, we've only been doing them once a month.
Why is that?
Well, it's because my mother has to travel down. She's been taking care of her mother lately, and the cost burden associated, unfortunately.
Judge Lee has ordered that your mom can supervise the visitation, correct?
That's correct.
And would you like more time with Gabriel?
Absolutely.
Object to relevance, Your Honor.
Overrule.
So if Ms. Brown were to be ordered to pay half of the cost of the parenting schedule or flights, would that in any way assist with the parenting time?
It would.
She's in El Paso and knows the schedule and could get the child to and from flights, correct?
Object
Yes.
speculation.
And you heard her
Hold on
testimony.
1 second. Let me read that back. She's in El Paso and she knows the schedule and can get the child to and from flights. Sustain, rephrase, counsel.
The flights originate in El Paso, correct?
Yes.
And that's where Ms. Brown took the child after first leaving Dallas to go to San Antonio. She then went to El Paso, correct?
That's correct.
And so naturally, the flights originating in El Paso, with Ms. Brown being in El Paso, she would have greater access to the El Paso airport than you would, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Mr. Brown, Ms. Brown is currently employed in El Paso.
Yes, she is.
Are you in a position that you can pay spousal maintenance or interim fees at this point?
I'm not right now.
Did Ms. Brown pay any of the debts associated with you and Mrs. Brown's townhome in Dallas when she left in October?
No, she did not.
Judge, I'm assuming facts not in evidence, Your Honor.
Sustain.
Is there a monthly payment for the townhome?
Yes, there is.
Is there an existing lease on the townhome?
Yes.
Has Ms. Brown contributed anything toward the payment of that lease since she left Dallas?
No, she has not.
Are you now fully responsible for that?
Yes.
Are you receiving some services from the Veterans Association or Veterans Affairs, the VA?
I have been, yes.
And that includes counseling and
Yes.
additional services?
Yes, it does.
And would you be eligible for additional assistance through the VA as part of an ongoing course of treatment through the VA?
Yes.
So your summary of requested relief, which has been marked and admitted as P1, is what you're asking the court to do today, correct?
It is.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Counsel, Attorney Lewis, you have 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Counsel, you have 1 minute and 36 seconds. Cross?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Brown, is it true that you're currently in a sobriety program through your church?
It's a recovery program, not necessarily for sobriety, but they focus on Christ-centered recovery.
Okay. And you saw the pictures we entered earlier regarding the items that were in the townhome as of October 7th. Do you recall those?
I do.
And in those pictures was ammunition as well as a gun safe, correct?
Yes.
Are you still in possession of the firearms and ammunition?
No, as I stipulated to at the temporary orders hearing.
And what did you do with those items?
I had to sell them all.
Okay. How much did you sell them for?
It was $1,000 for the ammo and $2,000 for the remaining weapons.
And what did you do with that money?
I put it back into all of the debts that I've had to incur.
None of it was provided to Ms. Brown?
Well, some of it was via the reimbursements that I had to send back for way.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further for your client?
Mr. Brown, you've paid child support, or you've paid payments to Ms. Brown for the support of Ms. Brown. You've paid, have you not?
Yes, I have.
You've also reimbursed her for the flight cost until we got clarification from Judge Lee.
Yes, and $1,200. That was about $1,200.
And we're requesting a child custody evaluation as well, are we not?
We are.
Thank you. No further questions of the witness at this time. Judge, I'll pass the witness.
Okay. All right. Counsel, anything further for this witness? You have 24 seconds left.
One last question, Your Honor.
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Brown, you said that you had provided payments for the support of Ms. Brown. Do you recall just saying that just now?
Yes.
Okay. Besides the reimbursement for the flight costs, what additional funds did you provide her?
I believe it was $644 for guideline child support.
And when was that paid?
That was paid on the end of March, and she's got another payment coming tomorrow.
And that's the first child support payment that you made in this case, correct?
That's correct.
Pass
Counsel,
witness.
that was your last question too. You just ran out of time. Attorney Lewis, you may call your next witness.
Judge, I have no further witnesses at this time. If I may ask Mr. Brown 2 real quick questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, you have been supporting the community solely, haven't you?
Yes.
Ms. Brown has not made any payments toward any community debt of which you are aware, has she?
No.
And Ms. Brown is qualified to get a teaching position, isn't she?
Yes, and has one.
In fact, sir, she was working in the Metroplex prior to moving to San Antonio, correct?
Yes.
Would you ask that the court deny her requested relief for spousal attorney or spousal maintenance?
Yes, I would.
And we've not heard any testimony about interim fees, have we?
No.
In that case, Judge, I have no further questions for this witness.
Okay.
I will rest at this time.
All right. Just checking my notes. I wanted to clear something up for the record. So the child is currently 17 months old. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right. And the second assault was the one that occurred January of 23?
That was correct. That was the second.
Okay. What was the date of the first one?
That was August
22?
Yes, August 19th, 2022.
Okay. All right. That was my only question. The court is going to take this under advisement and get a ruling sent out to you all soon.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.